right, guys, welcome back to the Aucoin cooking show. This is our fourth episode?
Yeah.
Can't remember. But let's do a recap. Coop, last week you wanted to make sloppy joes, and we made those, and they were delicious, right? What did we have them with?
We had them with broccoli, I think.
Yeah, roasted broccoli. And then you guys had something for dessert that we made last week too, right?
We also had the protein cookies. Those were really good.
They were. Brody, how did you like those?
They were
good?
crunchy.
They were crunchy?
Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah, awesome. Well, today, let's talk about what we are making today. Coop, we tested this recipe out last week, double chocolate overnight oats, right? And you guys really liked it, didn't you?
Yeah, it was really good.
It was delicious. One of the cool things about this overnight oat recipe, which I've never done in the past before, was added Greek yogurt to it. So it gives it a little creamy texture. We'll go into that recipe. It's not actually even on our website yet. So you guys who are chiming in today will be able to have that one first. And we're also making a staple. What else are we making, Coop? What's over there?
The meatloaf muffins.
Meatloaf muffins. Those are really good too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brody, do you love the meatloaf muffins?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a great way to sneak veggies in for your parents who don't, kids don't like veggies. This is a great way to do it. So first and foremost, for those of you guys who are watching, do you have an awesome overnight oat recipe? Do you guys ever try overnight oats? This is going to be a super easy recipe that you can add protein in so that you get a balanced breakfast and it's not just the carbohydrates in the oatmeal. So we'll go through the overnight oat recipe second. We're going to do the meatloaf muffin recipe first. But before we get into that, I want to just explain why we love the muffin tins. So muffin tins can be used for a lot more than just muffins, right? What else do we cook in the muffin tins? Egg muffins?
Oh, yeah, we also cooked the egg muffins.
Egg muffins, the meatloaf muffins.
Yeah.
You can put in there, right?
Absolutely, and this is a great way to have pre-portioned protein. So you have your protein here, then you just pair it with some roasted veggies and maybe sweet potato or brown rice, some type of carbohydrate. Now you have a balanced breakfast if we're looking at the plate method. So meatloaf muffins are awesome. Why don't you guys, you and Daddy are going to start with the meatloaf muffins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can start with that, and then we'll go from there. For those of you guys who are chiming in, type in the chat if you have ever had the meatloaf muffin recipe before. Yes or no?
All right, Coop. All right, so for the meatloaf muffins, Cooper is going to go ahead and use a pound of ground turkey. She's going to go ahead and dump that into it. And she's going to put that in a bowl. And then once she puts that in, she's going to add a pound of ground sirloin. The exact measurements as far as 90-10, 85-15, 93-7, 99-1. It's on our website, so just check it out if you want to look at the exact what we use for our meatloaf muffins.
Thank you, ma'am.
Once she puts her ground beef and our sirloin in, we're going to add, what are we adding, Coop? Two eggs? 2 eggs. Are they farm-to-table eggs?
Yeah.
Tell everybody where you get these eggs from.
The chickens.
Well, chickens. Well, duh. Everybody gets eggs from chickens.
Chickens.
Oh, our chickens. All right. So you have chickens? Go ahead and whip that up. What are their names? I'm going to wash my hands.
Fluffy and Cheeky.
Sleepy, Fluffy, and who?
Cheeky.
Cheeky. Okay. Do you have a favorite?
Huh?
Do you have a favorite? Oh, are you allowed to say? All right, so go ahead and dump that in. So once you have your ground beef, that's perfect. Go ahead and dump that in there, Cooper. And then I want you to go ahead and add in your onion and red peppers. Perfect.
Okay.
I'll take this from you. Teamwork makes the dream work. And just go ahead and dump it in. So go ahead and finish up with that story. I mean, did you have a favorite or not really? I mean, I'm confused here. I kind of put you on the spot.
I think Sleepy.
Oh my goodness,
She
Sleepy.
lays the biggest eggs, and she also lets me pet her too.
She lays the biggest eggs and lets her pet her. Okay.
I agree.
All right, so next after the eggs, we're going to go in. Coop, you're going to go ahead and dump we have like a red pepper, orange pepper, onion mix that we are going to add into it. So go ahead and dump that in there. And once you're done, perfect. And then we have a pinch. Go ahead and dump that fresh basil in there. And then we can add the almond milk. That's a half a cup of almond milk, and we're going to add that into the mixture. And then once we add that, we're going to add in a third of a cup of panko. We use just regular panko. We've actually used They have a hot and spicy panko, so if you add a little flair or want to add a little flair to your meatloaf, you can, I guess, try that. We haven't done it for this. I've done it for burgers before, and they're pretty good. So, all right, so once we've added all these ingredients, Coop, you, my friend, are going to go ahead and put your meatloaf muffin mix in. We have a seasoning pack that you buy from Publix or your local grocery store. We use McCormick's low sodium, and Cooper's going to mix that in there. So, one of the cool things that we did this week was one of our dietitians brought us a box of fresh produce. So I kind of want to show you guys what that looks like. So for $10, you can, hopefully you guys can see this. We've been cutting up, she brought a box of red peppers, orange peppers, green peppers, cucumbers. So we sliced them up and we've been like snacking on it all day. And then this is what it kind of looked like, minus a whole bag of green beans, which we cooked for dinner last night. So this was from a local farmer's market that Ashley...
So what they do is they have a giant refrigerated truck that they pack up all the local farmers, put their stuff in, and then they just make you a giant box, and you can go pick it up. I actually just put in the chat the link, and it's $10 for that entire box of produce. So you just open up your trunk, have your $10 cash laying out, they grab the cash, and they put a huge box of veggies in your trunk. So that's an awesome, awesome way to get some fresh produce and support local farmers market. So I'm
just going to add a little bit more ketchup. Not more. I'm going to add a little bit of ketchup because we like to put a little flair on it, a little spice. And we're going to take our mixture. Cooper and I are going to go put this together, and we are going to fill these muffin pans or muffin tins, and we're going to get out of your way.
All right, so you guys are gonna.
It's
Cooper's favorite step, actually, because she gets her hands super dirty.
No, it's not.
Okay, maybe her least favorite step. So they're gonna do that. While they're doing that, Brody and I are going to actually come over here. And Brody, why don't you get on the stool?
Okay.
We are going to make our overnight oats. So what we're gonna do is, first thing first, we are going to just put 75 grams, so about half of the Greek yogurt inside a measuring cup. I try to mix it in the measuring cup because it's a little bit easier. I try to keep it in the measuring cup because it's a little bit easier, right? So Birdie, I'm going to have you measure out 75 grams, so about half of this, in our measuring tin. Oh, Nana's watching. Hi, Nana. Just saw her pop on. Okay, so you're going to keep pouring this in there until it says 75.
Okay.
Just about half of it.
Oh.
Yep. A little bit more. A little bit more. Keep going a little more. Perfect. That's good. Okay. Awesome. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pour 30 grams of old-fashioned oats. I already measured that out into, let me go down here so you guys can see, into our measuring cup. Perfect.
Whoa.
Then you're going to go ahead and pour about 75 milliliters of almond milk. If you like it to be a little bit more water, you could do a little bit more, but 75 to 100 milliliters of almond milk. We're going to pour that right in. Then Brody, what I'm going to have you do is use the Ascent protein. So this, again, we used this one last time too with the protein cookies, but this is a really great protein, super clean. You want to use whey protein over soy, and you want to, when you're using a protein powder, look for something with this informed choice stamp on it so that you can know that what's inside the bag is actually tested and written on the nutritional facts labels. So we are going to, Brody, you're just going to do a half a scoop.
Yeah.
Nope, just half.
Oh, yeah.
So just half a scoop. Just a half a scoop.
Like this?
Yep, that's good. Half a scoop, put it in. Perfect. And then we're going to do 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. And we're going to do 1 tablespoon of chocolate chips, hence our double chocolate. So we have chocolate chips from, or chocolate from our chocolate chips and chocolate from our protein, right?
We're going to go ahead and put these muffin pan, the meatloaf muffins in. So this is kind of what they look like. We're going to throw them in the oven for about 20 minutes. Go ahead
And now we've mixed all of our ingredients. Guys, I'm going to put the ingredients in the chat so that you guys know. But to recap, it was a half of a scoop of protein. It was 75 grams of Greek yogurt, about 75 milliliters of almond milk, and 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, and 30 grams of oats. Oh, yep. And what we're going to do is just put it in a mason jar. That's the easiest thing, right?
Yeah.
And then we will put it in the fridge, right? So what you can do is just pour this right in. Try not to spill.
How far in advance can you make these? I guess they're overnight, so that means they need to be in overnight. So is there like a minimum, maximum?
I don't know if there's necessarily a maximum. I mean, we made this one on Tuesday, and the kids will probably eat it today at some point as a snack.
Yeah.
This one has a little bit more, is a little bit waterier, waterier. Whatever it might be. I put 100 milliliters in this one, and it's just a little bit more water in there. So Nana says hi. Can you say hi to her?
Hi, Nana.
Hi.
And then here we go. This is it. So it is done. Birdie, you want to go put it in the fridge?
Yep.
And then what you can do is test out this one, because I know you're just waiting patiently to be able to test out some food, because you guys are always hungry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Looks like soup.
yeah, so what we'll do is we'll mix it up a little bit.
Oh, no. Probably doesn't.
Just got a little down. And you guys, you already have spoons. Never mind. Let me move this one out of the way.
Told you.
Good?
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You guys are just going for the chocolate chips probably, though, right?
Oh, yeah, they dig
We
for the
didn't
chocolate
get
chips.
You didn't get one?
Go back in for
Oh,
more.
you guys are double dipping? Are you allowed to double dip? Oh, I guess for family. Double dipping's allowed? Yeah.
Chocolate chip.
Awesome. So what
Chocolate.
is this?
I think they're at the
Tell
bottom.
us about the nutrition facts on this. Is this a replacement? Would this be something that somebody could have as a whole breakfast, or like what are the nutrition facts here?
Yeah, so it's pretty balanced. About 300 calories. There's about 35 grams of carbs, 20 to 25 grams of protein in there, and 11 grams of fat. So pretty balanced breakfast recipe. A lot of times with breakfast, you tend to be really carbohydrate heavy and Birdie's loving it. Not a ton of protein in there. So by adding the Greek yogurt and the protein powder, we are able to get some more protein in there. If you guys haven't tried overnight oats yet, I would highly recommend it. This recipe is now in the chat.
So when you say heavy carbs, like when nutrition clients come to you and they say, no, I eat healthy, I have a waffle in the morning, and I have a cup of coffee, and I put a little bit of peanut butter. That's really balanced because peanut butter is protein, and the waffle's my carbs, and I got some peanut butter. Is that true, or is that kind of what would you say to a client like that?
There's a lot of things that are marketed as protein sources that might not necessarily be the main source of protein. For instance, if you have nut butter, right, there's more fat in there than protein. And if you were to get an ounce of protein, you would have to eat a lot of peanut butter. So
I can eat a lot of peanut butter. That's fine.
It ends up being a lot of calories, a lot of fat that might cause you to go over. So we really want to look for a balance of protein, carbs, and fat. And this happens a lot of times with vegetarians, right? Because you think like, I'm going to have beans and that's my source of protein. Well, if you were to get an ounce or 2 ounces of protein from beans, you're also having like 60 grams of carbohydrates, which is just
very gassy.
Too much at one sitting and kind of gassy, yeah.
And maybe a little gassy, yeah.
Man, these kids, record time, it is gone.
So I think it's safe to say that this is definitely a good hit for the kids for breakfast in the morning. If you have a child that's maybe not having their veggies, right, eating super healthy. Do we want to? So what's a way? I have another question here because I coach a kids class, and it's funny, something that came up the other night. I like to ask a question of the day, just like in our group classes, right? And I asked, what did you guys have for dinner last night? And 6 out of 8 kids happened to answer, we had pizza last night, which I get because we've had pizza probably more in the last 2 months Granted, it's cauliflower pizza crust, and but we have had pizza.
Yeah.
So, what would you say to parents out there that are trying to, like, our kids eat veggies, they've always eaten veggies, and people are like, oh, you're so lucky. Well, I don't think they really know anything different because we slice up peppers and we slice things up. Like, what do you...
Cooper would be eating these vegetables right now, on her plate.
Yeah.
So, Cooper, do you remember when you were little what I would put on your plate first? What would be on your plate first? Do you remember or no? So I would only give them vegetables when they were the most hungry. That would be the only thing on their plate until they finished all those vegetables, and then we would add some protein and some rice, or if they wanted mac and cheese, okay, they're gonna eat all of their vegetables. And eat still to this day, if we're having mac and cheese on a plate, that's the last thing you get. You eat all your vegetables and all your protein first,
But that makes me want to eat it even more.
Oh, well, there you go, right?
And guys, we have mac and cheese, and we've made brownies, and I love when people think, oh, you guys eat so, like, we do have some treats every once in a while. We have mac and cheese with, a portion of it, but our kids are eating a ton of veggies.
Like the other
night, yeah. Right?
Pulled out on Facebook Live.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all about making sure that your kids are eating vegetables too, because it's just like sleep, right? I mean, if we don't get enough sleep every day, they're going to tell you, hey, you need to be getting, for us 8 hours, for kids 10 hours, and it helps grow our brains and grow our body and keep us healthy and fight crap, right?
Fight crap. Yes, I mean, it's important for us to get different colors because different colors mean different vitamins and minerals. So you want to try to get those into your kids' daily routine. Eating vegetables when they're hungry is a great thing. Also, cutting up colored peppers and cucumbers just like this and have them sitting out. I promise you, your kids will try if they're hungry, or just mindlessly eat them like our kids are doing right now. So
Also with the overnight oats.
Yep. Eli's likes the overnight oats. That went pretty quick. But the point is having them readily available, and you as a parent leading the tribe, right? Like, we eat vegetables. Our kids see us eating vegetables every single day, and they know, like, that's just part of their routine. We can also cook them different ways. If you haven't tried roasting vegetables yet, try it. Roasted broccoli, that was the first live we did, right, Coop? Mm-hmm. And the roasted broccoli is delicious. You guys ate that, I think, before the live was over on that one, too.
And tonight we're actually going to...
Cauliflower, too.
Oh, the cauliflower is good.
Zucchini, and we have some squash. Tonight we're going to cut some of this up, slice it super thin, and then we're going to throw it in the air fryer with some more. We're going to try a couple different batches of, like, Old Bay seasoning. Try new things out, guys. Try vegetables. Put them in, when you broil, bake, air fry. It has a completely different taste to it and texture. No, thank you. And Ashley actually told us she made them into, like, little spears.
Yeah.
And she air
like
fried
little
them.
Sticks.
Yeah. And then we have, what else are we here today? In our group class, somebody actually gets their Amish oatmeal, and when they go to reheat it, Val, she said that they use the air fryer to give it that, like, kind of crispy out of the oven texture. Mm-hmm. So for any of you out there that love our Amish oatmeal, which I don't know why you wouldn't, if you don't, then something's seriously wrong with you. The Amish oatmeal is awesome, and if you could just throw it in the air fryer to reheat it, that'd be great, huh?
Absolutely.
Good tip.
Definitely. One thing, if you guys didn't make it to our nutrition seminar, we hosted a free nutrition seminar today. We ended up having over 120 people register. I think there were like 30 to 40 people on there at any given point, but it was a really great way just for people to ask some questions. And Ashley and I, our Director of Nutrition Education, we're just talking about making health a way of life in 3 simple steps. And we talked about doing a self-assessment and asking yourself, like, what does success look like to you right now? And what does success look like to you over the next month? And then looking at, in regards to nutrition and your health, what worked well for you in the past. And if it was having food preps that you got out of the routine because now you're working at home, could you get back into the routine of prepping some meals so you're setting yourself up for success? Or having some vegetables pre-cut and ready to eat out so that you're snacking on that instead of going to the chips that are in the pantry.
Goldfish or just stuff that you grab. And I mean, when you're walking down the aisles, guys, all these boxes of processed foods, I mean, go to the produce section. Like, it's a little bit more work, but I promise you, if you chop up some veggies, your kids are going to eat them. If that's what's sitting on the counter, they're going to go and they're going to grab them. And they're, right? I mean, we bring them out by the pool. We'll set a plate out there. Guess what? Kids are hungry when they're swimming. They'll eat anything you put out there. And, that's kind of how we've done things. And we haven't gotten lucky. We've just, been tricky, right, or sneaky about how we've done it. And I guess maybe we got lucky in that aspect.
Absolutely. For those of you guys who are just jumping on that have kids, do your kids eat vegetables? Yes or no? Go ahead and comment in the chat and we can kind of give you some more tips if you're looking for some more tips to get your kids to eat some healthy foods and vegetables. So when we went and we were talking about that nutrition seminar that we did today, we were talking about that self-assessment, we were talking about creating a plan. Really, we were talking about taking action. And, I think sometimes we try to bite off more than we can chew, and we ended up talking about that later at the end. More people had questions about that. When you get excited about something, it's like you dive all in. And research shows that if you try to do too much at one time, you end up falling off quicker than when you started. So, really just trying to focus on one habit at a time and nailing that, tracking that, and then moving on to the next thing is going to help you set yourself up for success long term. So, for instance, if your plate doesn't have any vegetables on it, instead of going from 0 to a super strict diet overnight, maybe just try to add more vegetables to your plate. Try to start with the plate method and eat those first while you're the most hungry, and then once you nail that, add the next thing to your plate. Now, the last step that we talked about today was tracking progress, right? Tracking progress is huge. We use SugarWOD, right?
Yep.
And it's a really great way to see how many active days you've gotten. The HSN app allows us as nutrition coaches to help our clients track progress. We set healthy habits for them, and we can keep them accountable to that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I actually spoke with a nutrition client at 3 o'clock on Friday, and he's probably watching this. And I went through his days. Before we even got on the phone, I knew what he had Monday through Friday for breakfast this week, and I could tell he's only having a half a scoop of protein with his oatmeal, which is only going to be about 12 grams of protein for breakfast. And so we bumped it up a little bit. He's an athlete. He's working out sometimes twice a day. We bumped up his protein, and having access to that app and then connecting with MyFitnessPal, it gives us all the tools and resources for me because it's hard for people to remember. He didn't remember what he had Monday, but I'm looking at it because 6 days later I can look and see what he logged.
Absolutely. And not every client tracks their food, but if they are tracking their food, it's a great way to have that feedback loop, and from a nutrition coach perspective, easily be able to give that feedback, because having accountability and support really does help you see long-term results, right? So we had that seminar today and it went really, really well. Some of the questions that people asked, one of them that I thought was pretty good was what about intermittent fasting? And, is intermittent fasting a good thing, a solution for you? And Ashley and I were talking about, if you're eating in a window and you really struggle binge eating at night, and if eating in a window gives you the structure that you need, awesome. But if you are using that window to eat whatever junk food that you want because it's in the window, that's not a healthy way and it's not a healthy lifestyle. So really focus on whole foods first. A lot of different diets will just end up cutting out calories by cutting out food groups or cutting out times of days. At the end of the day, you're cutting out the amount of calories that you're consuming. So for every person, it's going to look different what success looks like to them, or what habits they need to be consistent with to see results. But you need to figure out what works well with you, right?
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing too, you brought up habits earlier, and another good example of that is when you worked with me. I'm a heavy cream guy. Mom, you know this. Everybody in my family knows this. I like to have a little bit of coffee with my cream in the morning. And I know when I switch, just making a small change, and Sean, you know what I'm talking about. If you're watching this, my Dunkin' Donuts man, he went from having an extra large coffee with sugar and cream to just almond milk, and just making one difference. Just make one difference a day, and do that for 5, 7, 8 days. Do it for a week, and then all of a sudden we can add on one more thing. And now it's been 2 months. Homeboy's having almond milk still, and that's like a piece of cake for him now. So
awesome.
I feel like that overwhelming thing is so true. They just need one thing to start with, 1 or 2 things, and then do it for a little while. Oh, that was quick.
And the veggies are now gone. I think the biggest thing with nutrition is you don't want to feel overwhelmed. You want it to feel like it's easy. And if it's easy, you're going to stick with it. And if you try to change too much at one time, it's not going to be successful, right? We have to just focus on one thing at a time. Yeah. One of the things that we talked about during the seminar too was this family dinner planner that we use sometimes. And you guys, we talk to you about what we're going to prep, right? So that you can be involved in the kitchen, right? Yeah. You like to be involved in the kitchen, don't you?
I do too.
You do too? What's your favorite thing to prep?
Prep, huh?
Or cook so that you can eat it later. Or just in general. What's your favorite thing?
I don't know.
You cook a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're always around, right? Like you're always in the kitchen helping to prep food, and getting kids involved with some of the different ideas is really helpful because then they want to be involved with prepping. So we ask them, what do you guys want to eat? We look up the recipe page, the Healthy Steps Nutrition recipe page, and they pick out what kind of foods they want to have for the week, or we just talk about it, and then that's what we end up getting. So they're involved with the conversation. But they also know, in addition to the protein, like if we're having pulled chicken or meatloaf muffins, there will always be a vegetable, right?
Yeah.
And you like the vegetables.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then there's...
I don't mind vegetables. I actually really like them.
You don't mind them?
You don't mind them, you actually really like them. So like, that's a little bit
Doesn't
like,
make any
are
sense.
you going to be an attorney? Like, that sounds very, I'm gray, but I'm not black or I'm not white. I'm just gray.
Well, you're
I
crazy.
don't mind vegetables, but I like vegetables. I love it.
I really like vegetables.
You really like vegetables, yeah. We have the cauliflower a lot, the buffalo cauliflower a lot.
That's really
And then we
good.
mix in spaghetti squash when we can. We said we're gonna, we need to do that next week. Ashley, if you're on here, we need to do that spaghetti squash in the crock pot where you boil it so that it's easier to cut. I want to do that because I can cut it. We have a big chef's knife, but a lot of people don't have, that can be a little dangerous. And if we can cook a spaghetti squash on a timer, leave the house, put it in the crock pot, and then cut it, and it's easy, I think that'd be awesome to do.
Definitely. One of the things we talked about too was pulled chicken, and how you could do 5 different recipes with a pulled chicken.
Yeah.
Right? So you could do tacos, you could put shredded chicken on sweet potato, you could do it with a salad, you could mix it up with guacamole or avocado and do like a chicken avocado salad and lettuce wraps. Same thing with ground turkey. You can do a lot of different stuff with ground turkey. We had ground turkey tacos last night. We do ground turkey and meat sauce over spaghetti squash. Lots of different things that you can do to not have to spend 5 hours in the kitchen. Although we have a little bit more time, I don't think you want to spend 5 hours in the kitchen, do you? You definitely don't. You're like, I have swimming to do today, so we got to wrap this thing up.
We've got 3 minutes left on our meatloaf muffins. Can I ask another nutrition question?
Of course.
I always like these because you're my nutrition coach and you've taught me to be a nutrition coach, so let me ask the expert here. So, macros. I want to track my macros because if I can track my macros, I'm going to lose weight. And people have success with it. So I think there are some benefits to that. What are some of the things that are the pros and the cons for tracking your macros? So it kind of reminds me of intermittent fasting type thing. It's like a window or certain things you can get in and
Yeah. So, I think macros has become a super popular topic, and most people, when they say they want to track macros, they have no idea what macros even mean. When I say, well, do you know what that means? Most of them say no, but I have to meet a number for the day. They don't really understand. So a macronutrient is a nutrient that provides us calories. There's 3 of them. There's protein, carbs, and fats. And what macro diet does is takes a macronutrient number and you plug all of your information that you eat for the day, your nutrition facts, into a app like MyFitnessPal, and it shows you the macronutrients that you eat for the day, and you have to meet a total number of protein, carbs, fats, and it's distributed differently for different people based on different things. What we typically recommend for clients is they start off with 40, 30, 30, 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat, and then we tweak it from there. Is that how most people start? But what we found is that tracking macros is super overwhelming for most people because they go from never using MyFitnessPal to all of a sudden having to track everything, and it's very burdensome. So for a lot of people, it's just too big of a step, and you don't need to do that to be successful. Kind of going back to what I was talking about before with biting off more than you can chew. Like, you do not need to do that to be successful. I think that there are benefits in teaching people that this bag of chocolate chips, which doesn't seem like a lot, would be a lot of sugar and carbohydrates and fat that you might not eat in one day. Also, something like a juice, like drinking an entire 16 cup of juice, you might rethink that. Pickles.
I don't want to share the label. Are we allowed to share the label? Like I bought some pickles at Costco, guys, and these pickles, man, they're awesome. Right? Sure. Yeah, fire. What are they? Famous Dave's, and they're hot and spicy, and they're delicious. And we bought like a gallon jug, and they're so delicious. And then all of a sudden, we kind of turned around and looked at the nutrition facts, and for every 3.5 pickles, it has 7 grams of sugar. So how much of 7 grams, 6 of added sugar? So what does that mean? Like pickles?
So 4 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon. So that means in 3.5 pickles, there's over 2 teaspoons of sugar in pickles that don't have sugar. And it's just because they're soaking in sugar juice. Same thing like regular juice. So kind of understanding what you're eating, I think that's a plus of macronutrients. But I have found a lot of people will end up having like disordered eating habits because of tracking macros with hoarding macronutrients till the end of the day so they can binge eat on something later. You want to make sure that you're having a balance so that you are, staying consistent, focusing on healthy habits. Really, we try to focus on whole foods, shopping the perimeter of the grocery store, or getting a box like this and having a ton of vegetables first, then protein, then carbs. So those meatloaf muffins look absolutely delicious, Jay.
Yeah, we're just going to put a little doppel of ketchup on the top of a couple of them here, and they are good to go. So we have perfectly portioned out meatloaf muffins for snacks and for, how much, what did you say, 20 grams of protein, 25 grams, somewhere around there?
Yeah, there's about 20 grams of protein per one. They're like 3 to 4 ounces. Those are probably 4 ounces each.
Yeah.
But a great way to have lunch or even a snack, dinner. We love those. Those are definitely what we're having for dinner tonight, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So we did 1 package of sirloin, 1 package of turkey. You could do all turkey, you could do all lean sirloin, whatever your little heart desires. Brian said, going back to the intermittent fasting comment, intermittent fasting is not recommended usually for diabetics, and that is something that you would, if you have diabetes or a medical condition, we would recommend that you work with a dietitian regularly, and that's why there are restrictions about who can help people with medical nutrition therapy. So I am a dietitian. We work with clients closely, cancer patients, barbells for boobs clients, diabetics, to help them have the appropriate amount of nutrition and macronutrients to reach their goals and manage medications too. So absolutely, if you are diabetic trying to do intermittent fasting and cutting carbohydrates or doing keto, it's going to affect your blood sugar, which is in turn going to either cause it to go too low or too high if you continue the same medication. So definitely think about that if you have a medical condition for sure. What other kind of questions, anything, Cooper, is there anything you want to bring up today? Any tips for kids who don't love vegetables?
I don't really know.
No? Birdie, do you have any tips? Sometimes we have to try things, right?
Yeah.
More than once, right?
Maybe put seasoning.
Yeah, what kind of seasoning do you guys like?
The Gibson's.
The Gibson's. Yeah, we actually just right now, it's very unfortunate. Gibson seasoning's really good. Also, just a little bit of oil. We do the spray oil, which is pretty good, and salt and pepper. Pretty simple, right?
Yeah, this is, so if you're using the old school aerosol bottles, guys, like Pam, to spray your products, like it's not really good for you. And if you look at the servings, there's like a million servings in one can, and people go crazy with it. We bought one of these on some, I don't know, maybe some cooking place. Who got this for us? Or maybe somebody bought it for us?
You probably bought it.
I probably bought it. But this little gadget, we can put olive oil in it, we can spray things, and then you can control how much you're putting in, and it's not aerosol, and it's not bad for the pans, it's not bad for the environment, and yeah, we can kind of get some good fat in there too with olive oil, right?
Absolutely.
Is there good fat in Pam? Probably. I'm guessing no.
The olive oil is going to be a better option for sure.
Yeah.
Cooper, any final thoughts here?
What are we making next week? What do we want to make next week? Anything? No.
Maybe chili?
Chili.
That,
It's a little hot. It's a little hot for chili right now in Florida.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have Lindsay and Myra come on and they can make the chili because it's freezing where they are in Canada.
I think they're going to get a bunch of snow this week, so yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we could have some guests. Maybe we could do
like a white bean chili.
Ooh, that one's really good.
That is really good. The white bean chicken chili. So we found a really great recipe. One of my good friends from the fire department, Leanne, I miss her, great crew partner. She introduced us to white chicken chili, but we made a lot of modifications to it to make it a healthy version. And we added some yogurt and some different things to it to make it a little bit healthier. And that's
a super high protein recipe. That one's really, really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we can make something like that. And didn't we say something at the beginning that we were going to try? We were definitely going to make next week, and I already forgot.
I don't know.
We'll think of it.
Egg muffin?
Egg McMuffins?
Oh, yeah, those are good.
I guess we
We
could.
could make egg muffins.
We could make egg muffins, and we could do maybe a
But
turkey sausage egg McMuffin. No,
we'll
all
see.
right.
We'll see. Any other questions you guys have for us? One thing I will say, if you are thinking like, oh, this healthy food sounds awesome and I need some more help, I need some accountability, I am super bored eating the same thing at home, we are actually launching a nutrition challenge at HSN HQ on May 4th. We launched it. We'll start talking about it really today, and we had a few people sign up already.
Yep.
So it's going to be really fun. There's a nutrition only option where it's all going to be virtual, and a nutrition and fitness option where you can join in our virtual classes. So if you are interested in that, shoot us a message. I think there's a total of 50 spots available. Some of them have already been sold. So
How do they get a hold of you or me?
yeah, so send us a message in here, or actually, let me just put the link to the nutrition challenge in the
you go.
chat, and you can learn more about that challenge right there. It's going to be really fun. We actually made all new video content this week. It's directly related to what people are going through right now: excess alcohol intake, stress management, prepping with minimal ingredients that are available at the grocery store, being stuck at home, boredom eating. All the things that people are struggling with right now is what that content is. It's absolutely awesome. Another thing, we had a licensed psychologist on this week talking about stress management, and that blog and recording it is on the blog. So that was a really fun thing that we did.
Yeah, what's the future for that? What live webinars do you have coming up this week, and what are you, as far as, I know you offer things for your clients, but what are you offering out to just help the general population too? Are there any nuggets you can give here?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about the webinar. We actually made a recording, a quick recap of the webinar that we did today. I'll put that link in the chat as well, going over the 3 steps. There's a ton of just nutrition tips that we're putting out on our social media. On the website, there's blogs that are written every single week. As far as lives, Facebook Lives, there's a Facebook Live on making the nutrition the foundation of your business. This one's really geared towards CrossFit gym owners.
Yeah.
Emily and I are doing that one on Friday. And then the following week, we're going to do 2 stress management Facebook Lives, because it was such a popular topic. I think there's over 100,000 views on that video. It was crazy.
Awesome. What about, and you had some on Friday too, what about the kids class? Did you have, Dan, right?
Dan Hollingsworth. Shout out to Dan if he's watching. That was really fun. So Dan owns CrossFit Kids App in Washington, and they have 2 girls. One is your age, Sophie, and she's super cute. She actually does all the demos of their kids' PE class like you guys do for ours.
What's Dan's position with CrossFit? He's also a gym owner. He's right.
Yep. So he's a gym owner. They own CrossFit Kids App, and he is on seminar staff teaching level 1s and kids seminars. So he came on Facebook Live yesterday talking about CrossFit Kids and virtual PE and how he has built his virtual PE class. We were talking about what's working really well for our virtual PE class, and kids are loving it. You guys are loving it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how many days a week are you doing it? 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about the kids class?
I don't know.
sore after.
You being sore after? And what
like
about,
it.
is it nice to see some other kids and interact with them? I mean,
Yeah.
you get, walk us through what a typical kids class looks like. We start with what? A question of the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, then we do warm up.
Then we do a warm up.
Then we start the workout.
Then we do a workout. Do we take water breaks?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. All right. And then at the end of the workout, what do we do? Do we talk about it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And then that's it.
Sometimes there's a game. Dan was talking about how he always ends his classes with a game every single time, which I definitely think that we will start doing more frequently for ours. So the
What
end,
kind of game?
you could just wait and see, buddy. It's going to be awesome.
You pay the coach every time you get a no rep. And I'm the coach.
Oh, man. Nana joins in on the kids' PE class, and she loves it, too.
Yeah, she does.
Absolutely.
I saw Nana doing some air squats this week.
There we go.
All right.
I saw mom doing.
Mom was doing some air squats. I'll tell you what, these virtual classes, I don't think we've ever gotten as many husbands and wives and other people spouses, I should say, jumping in with their spouse. We actually had somebody the other night say, I think you've turned me into a CrossFitter.
It only took a pandemic to turn me into a CrossFitter was the exact
That's
quote
the
that
exact
she said.
word she said, yes.
Yes, but that was awesome. And the other one, Jason and Kelly Friedman,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not harassing, but she gets a lot of text messages from me saying like, hey, you jumping in the class today.
Yeah, but I mean, she went from working out, maybe 8 times a month to maybe now 12 times a month because she's had that accountability and jumped in some classes, which has been awesome, right?
Absolutely. And you guys are working out with us doing the virtual
Yeah.
classes too sometimes, which is really fun, right?
Yeah, we do those at home, right? And mommy planks with you guys. You guys, all kinds of exercise. Hopefully, the common theme here when all this is over is that everybody starts maybe eating a little better and starts incorporating some fitness into their lifestyles, right?
I think everyone is kind of realizing we can take this obstacle and turn it into an opportunity to take control of our health and really kind of settle down and refocus on what's the most important, like spending time with family and friends and, even if it's virtually, right? Like our family is doing a scavenger hunt tonight with all the kids. You guys didn't even know about that yet. But we are doing a scavenger hunt tonight and it's going to be fun. It's a way for us to connect where we have someone in Texas, someone in
the Atlantic,
and then in Tampa. So it's going to be a great time. I think, you really have to figure out, take a step back. What is the most important thing to you right now and focus on the positive? Because if you're just looking at all the sticky situations that are happening right now or you're watching the news too much, it's just going to be this downward spiral that is not going to lead you to a healthy...
Yeah, there's better things like Tiger King that are way better for your mental health. I mean, the new NBC, Fox, CNN, all those. We need the Tiger King in your life. Really?
Yeah, Tiger King's great. Or
kidding.
something else like exercise and hanging out with your family in Monopoly, which we're probably about to play another game right now.
Nope.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed our cooking demo today. We made overnight oats. We made meatloaf muffins. Next week we're going to make some other things. I already forgot what they are.
White bean chicken chili, right?
And
egg
egg
muffins.
There we
Okay,
go.
all right.
We need the chicken to lay some more eggs stat so we can make some eggs.
Yeah,
egg
Courtney's
muffins.
down.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
hi, Courtney.
Courtney.
All right.
Hey, sis.
Mommy and Craig are on. Hi, guys. All right.
All right.
Watch
well,
NBC only.
hope you guys have an awesome day, and we're going to get back to our family activities because it's family day on Saturday. So, bye.
Bye, guys.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Bye.